All right, thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause. If it was another type of event, I would be sure dancing for you all, but that's not what I was called to do today. Okay, so my name is Dania Beckford, and I'm going to be your host this morning for this event that was so carefully and meticulously curated so that we could have a very frank and open discussions about confidence and how we see our bodies. Now, we have three fabulous speakers that you all should be very blessed to be in their presence. They'll be dropping all types of gems. One is my very good friend, two I admire, so I'm also here to learn. And I'm happy to see the young faces in the audience because I do believe that topics having to do with confidence is what we need so that our young girls and our young men can feel and act more confident in our society. Now, I have a business called Broadtail Designs, and at our core is confidence. We cater towards the curves of full-figured women. And so, my whole life is about trying to make people feel more confident about their lives, no matter what their size is. And I want to start with a quote from Megan Jane Crabb, who says, "Hating our bodies is something that we learn, and it is sure as hell something that we can unlearn." Right? So we're going to start off with that in our minds, and we're going to get into the essence of what this event is about. It's called Good, Bad, and Ugly, right? So it's not good, bad, and ugly. I hope I did get that right. I did get that right. All right, great. So let's get into it. Our first presenter is a native of Trinidad and Tobago, who is an artist, writer, and academic committed to the decolonization of how we see ourselves. She works primarily with action research and arts-based research methodologies, focusing on social justice and activism. Currently lecturing at UWI Mona, she's a researcher and psychotherapist with training in expressive arts therapies and social work. Her research ideas including gender, stigma, and discrimination faced by people living with mental illness and HIV, as well as trauma-informed practices and epistemic violence. She will speak briefly with us on the topic, our mind, how it affects our perception of self. Ladies and gentlemen, Good, Bad, and Ugly welcomes Dr. Tracy Rogers.
Good morning. I am so pleased to be here. I was expecting a slightly different audience, but things happen the way they're supposed to happen. So we are supposed, as Trinis will say, lime today. Yes, we are supposed to hang out today, so I'm very happy to be here. I'm going to speak to you for about 10 minutes about our mind, our body, and its connection. So I titled my talk today, Our Beautiful Minds, Portals for Time Travel. Because believe it or not, this is a magic instrument, and this is the portal that can take us through time. So I want you to stop for a little bit, and I want you to think about what is your emotional location. I know you're in Etna, you're in New Kingston. But what is your emotional location? I've given you 30 seconds. Locate yourself. I want to invite somebody to share. What's your emotional location? Peaceful. So right now, you by the beach somewhere? Yes? Peaceful. What else? I need another emotional location. Tell me now. Yes, ma'am. You're at your house right now. So your body's here with me. But you're home. Why you're home right now? It's peaceful. Yes, yes. So we have the ability to time travel. And when you think about being home and you have space to think and free yourself, something happens in your instrument. Something happens in your body. It starts with your mind. So today I'll be talking about, and I'm given the little urge to change the slides. Next one. So I'm just going to talk. So today I'll be talking about your body, your mind, your feelings, your habits, and creativity. So I want to say that this instrument that we were given, and we have different beliefs and understandings about this instrument, but this instrument was made to survive. And it will do whatever it can to survive. And we tend to have two systems that are operating side by side. One of them is your sympathetic nervous system, otherwise called your heart system. That's the best way to understand it. And the other one is your parasympathetic nervous system, your cool system. So your sympathetic nervous system, your heart system, is the system that kicks in to help you protect yourself. So if you see a big bad dog, you're not going to go, hey, doggy, doggy, doggy. Your pupils are going to dilate, your pores are going to open, your heart rate is going to go up because you have to survive. Your parasympathetic nervous system helps you calm and cool yourself. It is the system that is activated with gentle touch. When we think about home and being peaceful, when we think about being at the beach, our bodies are time portals. So here's the thing. The body is designed to register harsh criticisms, attacks on a higher level than the soothing, comforting touch. Why? Because it wants you to survive. But as a result, we tend to register things differently. So our nervous system is always running in the background. If you remember nothing else today, I want to urge you to always remember you are a thinking, feeling, spiritual being in a physical frame. And you can't pull one away from the other. So when we receive criticisms, when we receive messaging about our bodies, we get activated a certain way, always. So that's your body. I want to jump to your feelings. Anybody can give me a definition of a feeling? Tell me. Nobody? My favorite definition of a feeling I got from a 14-year-old boy in a community in Trinidad. And he rocked back, he said, Miss, a feeling is a thing you just feel when you feel. And describing a feeling is kind of really hard because we're not even sure what it is. But I want you to think about feelings are physiological. Again, they are living in your body. They are vibrating in your body. It's hard to define. We are always negotiating feelings. We all have emotional banks. And what are the two activities that happens in a bank? You have no bank accounts in here? Withdrawals and, yes, sir. Withdrawals and deposits. And when they get deposits, just be like, yeah. And when they get withdrawal, it's feel a little hard, right? So those of us who have ATM cards, and we know we could put that card in and get $1,000 right now, for sure. Some of us know if we put that card in and ask for certain numbers, it will tell us, can I help you? Yeah? Because oftentimes, when we have more withdrawals than deposits, what has happened? Overdraft, bankrupt. So a lot of us are walking around with emotional banks where we have more withdrawals than deposits. And so when somebody greets us and they say, hey, good morning, you say, what's a good body morning? Because we have nothing to give. So going back to these things that rob us, yeah? They rob us from being present. So second thing I want you to remember is that you have an emotional bank. There are two major transactions always happening in that emotional bank: withdrawals and deposits. And we have the ability to find deposits. So my friend here, she came into this hall, it was hot, they didn't turn on the AC yet. She's like, you know what, I'm not going to be here, I'm going home. She went to get her deposit. So we have the ability to do that. However, we live in an environment where we're constantly being sent messages about what we should be. And we're receiving that constantly, every day, every day, every day. And sometimes we're not even aware of what's going on in our emotional banks. Yeah? So I talked about the body, the fact that we are physiological beings, that there are chemicals going up and down here, that we are a complex machine. Nobody can't even figure this out. This is a complex instrument that we are walking around with, and some of us are just kind of walking around throwing it all over the place. So the other thing I want to talk about is habit. Now, if we are time portals, habits are your access codes. Now, we have two basic kinds of memories. The first memory is called implicit memory. If I ask you what you had for breakfast this morning, you might go, and you just pull that up. Implicit memories are memories we pull up that we don't even think about. So when you go to brush your teeth, do you think about, I'm going to take out the toothbrush, I am going to take the toothpaste, I'm now going to squirt it. Oh my gosh, now we don't think about those things. We know how to do those things. We go in and we grab those memories. Explicit memories are the other kind of memories that your teacher is trying to activate. Sometimes that could be a problem. Yeah? So we have implicit memories and explicit memories. Here are the things about implicit memories. They're all and they live in our body. Remember, we are spiritual thinking, feeling beings in a physical frame. And sometimes, regardless of the new information we've learned and how we are told to feel about our bodies and walk with ourselves, our minds are time portals. And they draw on those implicit memories very, very quickly. So a big part of realigning ourselves with purpose is really being able to be aware of our implicit memories, to ask ourselves all the time, is this true? Now, in the fancy thing they said about me, it says that I'm a therapist. One of the things that I do every day is sit with people when they're going through really, really hard times. And there is a way in which a lot of us live in one of two places instead of the third place where we should be. And I want to call those places memory and imagination. So we go through the world remembering, remember when that happened? Remember what so-and-so did to me? Oh my gosh, this is a chair, I have to sit down, they're going and talk. I don't want to be here. We're remembering what had happened. Some of us live in imagination. We're anticipating that things are going to fall apart. I'm not going to go do well in school. Things are going to go horribly. I'm not going to manage my finances. My body will never be good enough. I'm not going to be good enough. So we rotate between those two places. But there's a third location. You know what that third location is? Right here. Right here in the present. So here's the thing about creativity, a time portal, a time machine, that is this body. A lot of what we create, we can create, there's the end of my 10 minutes there. A lot of what we can create by being aware of where we are in the present moment. One of the things I also want you to remember is that your thoughts are not facts. Say it with me. Your thoughts are not, they're thoughts. And they're thoughts that have been fed by machinery that has been designed to tell us that we're not good enough. That's part of the colonial project. That's part of the plantation system that we evolved from. So when you hear those thoughts about your body, when you hear that voice in your head say anything about other people, about not being good enough, one of the things I want you to practice is to stop and say, my thoughts are not facts. I don't have to believe everything I think. Is it true? How can I locate myself in the present? And how can I nurture the human being I want to be? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can we give her another round of applause, please? All right, what stood out for me in that presentation is that my thoughts are not facts. They're not necessarily true. And so we always have to question what I thought about a while ago. Is it really so? Because sometimes all we make up things in our head and then we teach ourselves they are true, right? So I liked that a lot about that presentation and also about time travel, which in our panel discussion we're gonna go a little further into. But let's get to our second speaker, who this time is my friend. He's a British Jamaican designer, creative director. If he ever dress you, your body just look good, so. Stylist and former dancer. He worked with Beyonce, my Beyonce, okay? MTV and X Factor. Now an established and accomplished entrepreneur, he's CEO of Tribe 9 Studios, a dynamic global brand that blends traditional idealism with contemporary sensibilities, creating garments that recognize cultural differences and celebrate cultural integration. He has also a very big following, okay? He's kind of like a celebrity. So his work have been fitted by Coffee, Beanie Man, Chronix, Etana, Lila Ike, and Jesse Royal. This multi-talented creative who has enjoyed careers in dance, choreography, photography, and fashion will share on the topic, creating your personal style. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Troy Kane.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. That's it. So my story today is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to kind of take you back into how my personal style was developed. So it started very, very young. I am a young man. Well, a little bit. Yeah. But I grew up in Denham Town, and I spent pretty much all of my childhood in Denham Town. My mom's a seamstress, and I was just into arts from a young age. At about 10, I would say, I moved to London. And, you know, your mom moves, and then after that, she sends for her kids, and you know how that goes, right? So I moved to London, and my mom was still doing her seamstress thing, so she was still sewing around the house. There's fabrics everywhere, threads everywhere, zippers everywhere, and then her friends will come over, and then she will make her clothes, you know, a little dressmaker thing, right? So with me now, I always looked at things a little bit different. I think it's like the artistic side of me from a young age. I studied art as well and studied drama and music. And didn't study fashion, but I've always been interested in fashion, right? Seeing it around and seeing how things evolve over time. So like I would always go to my mom and be like, Mom, my jeans ripped. Can you just patch this for me with a different type of fabric? You know what I mean? So over time, it starts developing, and you're like, oh, I actually like this. This is pretty cool. You know what I mean? Has anyone in here ever done that? Yeah? Yeah, so you understand what I mean. So, like, after that, you start evolving. I started going to school. I hated London, by the way. It wasn't my place, right? So I started going to school, and then after school, I would kind of meet some people that were dancing at the time, and I was like, oh, this could be something I could do. You know what I mean? So I started practicing auditions, got my first job in a music video. I was like, oh, yes. Then the first thing happened. I met this stylist by the name of Cynthia. And Cynthia was actually here. They were filming a film called Champion maybe 2 months ago. And Cynthia was here, and I hadn't seen her since my first gig And that was like a good like 15, 20 years ago, right? And I was just like, oh my God, you're the one that inspired me to kind of step into my style, my personal style. Obviously, as I said, it develops over time, but there's little things that you collect along the way that lends to it, right? So if you like pop socks, or if you like Jordans, or if you like a flowy dress, those kind of things are what lends to your personal style. When you see something, you're like, oh, I like this. I love the way that this flows or how it moves, right? Those are the things. So I started doing the same thing, dancing, doing the X Factor. I got a job for Whitney Houston at the time. And I was like, oh, like, can't swear, but yeah, got a job for Whitney Houston. And I was like, oh, like, this is really like about to evolve into something else. You know what I mean? So I would get ready and I'll put on my best clothes and I'll go to rehearsals, and everyone else was just in their tracksuits and their trainers. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, cool. This is not what I thought it was, or not what I thought it would be. But still, my conviction was the same. I still held on to my style because it was mine. And as the time progressed, as Dania said, dance for the Beyoncés and the Missy Elliott's and all of that stuff, like transition over time. Over those times, you start dealing with stylists every day. So a stylist will come in and they'll be like, all right, cool, this is your frame, this is what I put you in, or this works for you, but this doesn't work for you. And then I started discovering like colors. Like there's certain colors that work with certain skin tones. So you have like underlying skin tones. Some people have like a yellow undertone. Some people have like a red undertone. So you start to realize like yellow looks really good on dark skin. Like those kind of things, And those are the things that you kind of recognize, or I recognize at a young age. And then I was like, all right, cool. Like, what's my color? You know what I mean? And those kind of things, I never realized what my color is, because that evolves over time and it changes all the time, right? But moving back to Jamaica, after, as I said, I hated London. So I went to New York for a little bit, and I was just like, all right, cool. Like, let me try to discover a little bit more about myself here. So I worked in a showroom. And that showroom was personal style. Like it really, really celebrated it, right? So there was things in there like shirts like this that had all of these buttons were different colors, right? And I was like, oh, you can do that? I didn't know those were things that you could do. But it really, that showroom really taught me that your style is your style. So whatever you put on and whatever you feel comfortable in should be your style. You know what I mean? There's certain people out here that are like emo. I don't know if you know the emo. They wear black a lot and rip up tights and all that kind of stuff. There's certain people like that I love to see, because I think it's all about expression. There's certain people that are like, they want to do Havana. Like me, today I'm giving you a little bit of, a little bit of salsa, a little bit of Havana with my relaxed style. It's kind of like something that, as I said, evolves over time. So before, when I first moved back to Jamaica, it was like the skinny jeans and the like I came from London and it was cold. So I used to wear a lot of overcoats, a lot of big shirts, and you start realizing, actually, you're in Jamaica now, You need to kind of loosen up a little bit on the heavy fits. You know what I mean? So when I started designing, it's a whole lot of stories in between, but I can't really go through all of it because we'll be here the whole day. And I'm not trying to be here the whole day. And I'm sure you're not trying to be here the whole day. But moving back to Jamaica, I started discovering what it is that I like. I look back all the way about 20-something years ago as to what my mom was doing in her little studio, and how she used to put things together and how things kind of worked on certain frames, and how like a bigger girl would look really nice in like more of a fitted, like tapered leg at the bottom. You know what I mean? Like I started to realize those kind of things as we get on. And then started working with artists like Coffee. Coffee is like this short, right? She's very, very short and very petite, very, very petite. So everything you put her in, it can't be too fitted, because she would literally look like a little girl, right? And she's a grown woman now. She's growing into her own. But just like seeing how things kind of flow on her, like she's very big on like sleeveless top because she hates being hot, right? And she likes the shorts because she hates being hot. So like those kind of things, now me dressing her, I have to think about, oh, like what is it that works for coffee over time? And it's looking at those kind of things and knowing how to apply them. Same as Diani. Diani is an artist that's here as well that I work with. And his personal style is really, really like cool. The first time I saw him, I was like, you remind me of Lenny Kravitz. You know? Most of you guys probably don't know who Lenny Kravitz is. You know? All right. Yeah, so he reminded me of Lenny Kravitz. And my job, meeting him, was to kind of elevate and help him understand what that style is. You know what I mean? Because coming from Jamaica, there's a specific thing that you see every day, and there's a specific way of dressing that you see every day that you want to emulate all the time, right? But then when you start to develop your own personal style, you realize that that's not really my thing. You know what I mean? I'm not really a skinny jeans kind of guy. I like that loose, relaxed kind of fit. You know what I mean? So anyway, going back to Diani. Diani has a very specific style. Like, he's very like evolved. His mindset and his music is very past the Caribbean shores. You know what I mean? So kind of understanding that he needs to be seen a certain way and what makes him feel comfortable, and also what elevates him as an artist. Right? So I started looking at, all right, cool, like we can take a little risk with Diani. Like, we can do a little bell foot here and there. We can do a little oversized coat. We can do a zippered vest. Like, there's stuff that we can do to kind of elevate his already personal style. Right? Is there anything in here that is there anything in here that is your personal style? Just with you, that you're wearing today.
The pleated skirt.
So that is your personal style? But you like? Okay. I would say on you, the glasses, I don't see anyone else with these pair of glasses in here. And I see that you're wearing your Air Forces as well. Is that something that you like? Or is that something that you just have? Comfortable. See? All right. So that goes back to the same thing I was saying. Over time, your style evolves, and she knows that now she wants to be comfortable. You don't want to leave your house feeling uncomfortable. You don't want to feel like you don't belong in your body. You know what I mean? The same thing that you were saying as well earlier. There's about being present and understanding that we are fed all these things daily about what we're supposed to look like and how we're supposed to think. You know what I mean? But the flip side of that is when you wake up in the morning and you pick up your phone, and you see all these things on Instagram. You see like, oh, that Beyonce is doing this, and Rihanna's doing Met Gala, and all these kind of things. What do you guys take away from that? Do you think that that's their style, or do you think that's a stylist imposing their style on them? Stylist? Stylist? No? You said Beyonce looks like what?
It's her personal style.
Okay. Personally, I don't think Beyonce has a strong personal style. She has a style, but it's not a strong personal style. I think that Rihanna has a very, very, very strong personal style. And I think Rihanna is more of the girl that would work with a stylist and say, no, I don't like that. Or no, I don't feel that. Or that's not really giving what it's supposed to give. You know what I mean? So those are the things that we notice over time. Like, as much as these people are so far removed from us, you can still see their personal style, but from their expression. So every day you wake up, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, Lord God, I can't bother to do my hair. Like, I have this massive amount of hair underneath here. So hats are my easy thing that I go to. That has now become my personal style to some people, right? People see it and they're like, oh, I can identify you by your little Tribe 9 hats. You know what I mean? Or your slippers. I just love to breathe, like to feel relaxed, right? So those are the things that you can do, like you can use to evolve your personal style. See what makes you comfortable. And also, personal style, as much as you go on over time, you realize that a lot of personal style has a lot to do with your confidence, right? Someone said facts. Yes. So your confidence is what takes you through. So it could be a rag or a bed sheet. You can pull that off and make it your personal style if you're confident enough to do it. But we'll get to that a little bit more in the panel discussion. But I just wanted to share that little evolution of style over time. And then, as I said, we'll get to it. But thank you guys for listening.
Thank you so much, Troy. Talking about personal style. You know, all this time, Troy, I thought that the hat was really a part of your personal style, and just because you never want to comb your hair. So I learned something new about you. And I really liked from your presentation that you linked style and how you wear garments to confidence, because that is so important. When we look good and we're comfortable in what we have on, we'll go on nice. You hear the song, When Me Nice or Something Go On? That them did I talk about. And like for me, Troy, my personal style is that I like my shoulders. I think they're extremely sexy. And that's why they're always out. And I'm tired of Jamaica decolonizing my armpit in a hot place. And I tell me, say, me can't do official business in a places because my arm and my shoulder out. Like my arm and my shoulder now sign no paper. Decolonize my arm, thanks. All right. But maybe you don't do that quite yet, okay? All right, so our third presenter, I actually admire this lady. She's the consummate communicator and has an absolutely generous soul, and she's fiercely committed to the preservation of Jamaican culture. A published author who has worked as an actress, singer, performance, poet, and storyteller. She's also an experienced communications and public relations specialist, which is my field, which is why I admire so much. Radio and television personality, public speaking coach, motivational speaker, speech script copywriter, Jamaican accent coach. In addition to her very popular book of poems entitled Make Me Tell You, she also has an extensive work in audio cassettes that Bumpy Head Gal, Jamaica King Teeth, and Everything Jamaican. She's going to be talking to us about reframing body image, claiming self. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Joan Andrea Hutchinson, OD JP. Go on, better.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. All right, so now hearing me go down proper now. All right, so my name is Joan Andrea Hutchinson. I am a month and a half away from my 60th birthday, and I am very, very proud. Most Jamaican women don't walk and talk them age, but guess what? I'm proud of the fact that I'm almost 60, right? Because I didn't get here by being stupid. I'm very happy. So I'm going to talk a bit about, body image and stuff, but I'm going to tell you my story, and my story will encapsulate everything about this topic. So I am the product of two Jamaican parents. Father was a policeman, mother was a nurse. I always knew I wanted to be a broadcaster. Always knew I wanted to be a communicator. So my family would tell me that in school, while I was in high school, I would take up the cleaner every day and use cassette. Oh, no, cassette? Yeah. Right. Take up the cassette player and read the news to myself and, Okay. Fast forward. I still hold the distinction of being the youngest television broadcaster for major news in Jamaica at age 18. And this is, when I was in school, they had PBCJ, right? Right. The forerunner to PBCJ was a thing called EBS, Educational Broadcasting Service. And so when I was in school, I was leaving school during the day and going down to EBS to do programs in Spanish and French and English. And, I really, really enjoyed that. So when I was 18, I got a job at JBC. It was then JBC, now TVJ. I got a job at JBC as a production assistant, just right after my 18th birthday. And one Saturday, I turned up. The person who was the director of television happened to have been my drama teacher in school. In fact, that's how me get a liquor work, incidentally. Yeah. Anyway, one Saturday, I turned up at the station with Oliver Samuels and my good friend, the late Aston Cook. We went to do something in Clarendon. And we turned up at the station. I just turned up to pick up a book. Oliver dropped us off, myself and Aston Cook. I turned up to pick up a book. At that time, we only had one TV station, and the major newscast was at 7:30. TV didn't even run for the whole day. Nowadays, TV is 24 hours. TV used to sign on and sign off, and right. And it signed off, I think, about 10:30 at night. Eventually, I became a sign-off announcer. You've been watching JBC television, and some used to talk like me sweet. Anyway, back to this. So I'm there on a Saturday, in my jeans, in my T-shirt, at the station to pick up a book. It is now minutes to 8 o'clock. 7:30 news don't start read yet. Now, if you don't do the news on time, advertisers are angry, and the advertisers will pull their advertising, and the station loses money. So it's important. If you listen to radio, TV, everything has to be, on the hour, 15, half hour, 45, etc. So I couldn't, there was nobody to read the news. The lady who was supposed to have read the news, I think her name was Diana Wright, she hadn't turned up. They called Bobby Casays, who was my drama teacher, and said, but Joan is here. And he called and he said, read the news. But, read. So he went into teacher-student mode now. Joan, read the news. No. What I said, did I have on T-shirt and jeans? I took my friend Aston Cook's shirt. I remember it was a green shirt, army green. And I took his shirt, spun it back to front, so the collar, like a stand-up collar this way, and he buttoned it in the back, and I said, put on my T-shirt. The security guard sitting right there, I said, lend me your earring. She lent me her earrings. I said, lend me a lipstick. I borrowed the security guard lipstick. I'll use blush. Right. Them never invent gel yet. Gel was not invented. Remember, this is 1979, 80, right? No, gel never invented, trust me. And so I used lotion. I went in the bathroom, got the security guard's lotion, water, and I had my hair creamed that time. Slicked back my hair like gel. Okay? And then in a few minutes, here was I. Good evening, I'm Joan Andre Hutchinson, and this is news. It apparently went so well that Monday morning, I got flowers from the director of television, from the general manager, from the production manager, and thereafter, I went into immediate rotation as a newsreader at age 18. I'm saying that to say sometimes opportunities present themselves, and you have to seize the opportunities. Now, if I had insisted that I wasn't going to do it, I would never have had this opportunity. No, the fact that I was now a newsreader, things started to open up for me. I decided I want to go travel, and I don't have no money to travel. So I started looking for scholarships and fellowships overseas. And I'm telling you, at my age, at 60, I think I have only paid to travel once. I'm always looking for scholarships and fellowships and short programs. The first place I went, so I'm at JBC, and I decided, I want to study, and I started calling all the embassies and high commissions. Hello, do you have any short scholarships, fellowships? First place I called was Embassy of Korea. They said they had a 5-month scholarship in South Korea. I applied for it. I got it. I applied for it and I got it. So here was I on the plane to South Korea. Do I know where South Korea is? When I got there, I was the youngest person. Everybody was like in their 40s and 50s, and okay. Thereafter, applied for broadcasting courses in Japan, in Benin, in Holland. So I've done all these courses. They are available. So I'm telling you as young people, look for the scholarships. They are there. These are opportunities that you must take up. So I'm going to jump forward now. So, I'm well known as a broadcaster and doing my thing. So I left Jamaica and I went to 1996. Where was this? Okay. So I was I went to Holland and all those places. So I remember coming back, when I went to Holland, I couldn't find a black hairdresser to do my hair as a Jamaican. So I ball it off, shine it off completely. And then I started just twisting. But them days, I don't think it's easy for you to understand. Those days, you could not wear your hair in twists to school. You couldn't wear braids to school. You couldn't get certain jobs with your hair. I couldn't get a job in certain places with my hair like this. Everybody had straightened hair at the time. Straightened hair was what was acceptable. And so most of us as dark-skinned women, we had to straighten our hair. You couldn't get certain jobs with your hair natural. Natural hair, what is that? Big afro and those things, what is that? You couldn't get a job. They would literally put you out. So 1996, so I couldn't find a hairdresser. I cut it off, started twisting it. Lived in Tunisia, North Africa for a little while. It started growing. I came back. I remember coming back into the country and somebody saw me in the airport and said, Tracy Chapman. You don't know Tracy Chapman, right? So they thought I was Tracy Chapman. So I'm back in Jamaica and I'm asked to host a television program. It was called Tuesday Forum. The regular hostess was not available for the program. So they asked me to host a program. At this time, I was now working at KLAS FM as a news editor. So I didn't know what I was going to do with my hair. So I decided I was going to wear the Nubian knots, the China bump. I had asked her to put up a photograph. Yeah. At this time, I, was wearing my hair in the Nubian knots, aka China bump. So this was going to be a program about study skills for teenagers, teaching teenagers to take responsibility for themselves. We're going to have psychologists and educators and principals, etc. on the program. So I tidy myself and think I cute. Well, not think, no, I cute. But I had the hair in the China bumps. And I remember before the program started, I said to the panelists, and this was a joke, it had to be a joke. I said, I wonder if anybody going to call and have a problem with my hairstyle. It had to be a joke. To me, it had to be a joke. By the end of the program, the station received 37 phone calls from people who were so angry because, you see, I had broken the stereotype. Remember, at that point, nobody never did on TV. Hardly. In fact, there was only one very dark-skinned newsreader at that point, a lady called Hope Thelwell. Everybody was lighter skinned and everybody had cream hair. So I'm saying, I wonder if they're going to have a problem with my hair. 37 people called. And when I taste them angry. Take that dirty bumpy head gal off the TV. Take that little dirty rasta gal off the TV. This is the level of anger people had. Because how dare this black woman come on TV with this, because remember at that time, China bump is something that when your mother wash your hair at home on a weekend, you put your hair in the China bump, Nubian knots, and you stay at home with it. But you don't, it's like wearing rollers, but nowadays people wear setters out the street, right? Yeah. But you couldn't go on the street with your hair in the Nubian knots or with twists. You just didn't do it. So the people were angry. I remember being at my regular work, KLAS, 2 days after, and a woman called. She wanted to speak with me. I took the phone. She said, I used to hear you reading news on radio, and I thought you were a very good news reader. But now that I have seen you on television, she said, you are a disgrace to Jamaican women. She said, you are like dirt. She said, if my maid comes to work looking like that, I would have to send her back home. And her last thing, don't you ever come back on my TV looking like that again. But you see, But you see, lots of people had different ideas and different options about how I should respond. But let me tell you something. I happen to have been raised by a mother and father who validated me every single day of my life. Told me me nice and me wonderful and me bright and me can achieve anything. So I don't have some of the insecurities that people have. Other people probably would have caved if people were calling and cussing them and other people would have caved. I didn't cave. I feel good about me. I like me. I like the person that I see in the mirror. And so this is now talking about seizing opportunity. I had already been writing poems and stories saying that I wanted to publish a book. When this thing happened, it blew up in society. Louis Farrakhan came to Jamaica. Everybody was now talking about black issues, and it was now an issue. People were now talking about it. And so I seized that opportunity. 6 weeks later, I left my job as a news editor at KLAS. And I started touring as a performer. And I spent years on the road. I mean, after a while, I got tired of touring. I was performing all over the world, doing stand-up comedy, doing storytelling, doing motivational speaking. It blew up. I was a big motivational speaker. I mean, a lot of the hotel chains, every single staff awards function on the North Coast, I was the guest speaker. I was going to the UK, I was going to the US, all over, because I now seized this opportunity and ran with it. What I did was I short-circuited the process of writing the book because I already had some of the material. I decided to produce my first cassette. The cassette was called That Bumpy Head Gal. And what I did was I wrote stories and poems about Jamaica. And I remember a friend of mine who is in the entertainment industry said to me, "No, son, nobody now go buy no cassette with no joke and no story and no thing." Okay? So 3 cassettes, 7 CDs, 3 books later, and another 5 books in the works. Okay? Don't let other people put the limits on you. Don't make them tell you what you can do. Don't let them tell you that you can or you can't. But at the same time, let me say this clearly to you all now. Young people have a way, and maybe when I was younger, maybe not, because my mother would have pinched off my mouth. Sometimes we feel that when we are right, it's okay to be rude. There's a phrase you see that say you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. So sometimes you just need to play the game by the rules and get your foot in the door. When your foot is in the door, then you can make the changes. But if you start, make up too much noise on the outside, sometimes the door is closed, and so you can't get in. So sometimes you have to play the game, kin teeth, keep a heart bun sometimes, play the game, get your foot in, and when you get your foot in, then you can make the changes. Is that making sense? So it's not everything you have to reel up about. The other thing I want to say to you is, don't give people control over you. Don't give people control over your emotions and what you're going to do and where you're going to go. I just completed a course as a practical nurse. Now, I said it to somebody. I'm now a licensed practical nurse at my whole age, yes, sir. I said it to someone the other day, and she said, practical, because, it's like them look down on practical nurse. Practical nurse? Then why would you do that? That's what she said to me. And I just said, God, still my tongue. Still my tongue. I'm not a cusser, I tell you this. I'm not a cusser. I said, still my tongue, God. Because what I really wanted to say to her was, try not pitch down, drop down inside there, because chances are me going to have to take you up and look after you. Yeah? But I just asked God to still my tongue, right? So the last thing I want to say to you all is, when I talk about seizing opportunity, every opportunity you get, if there's an opportunity to volunteer for something, do it. Where I am working now, for example, there's a major project that they were launching the other day. And when I look, project going to launch next week, and the place no stay good, no plants, no nothing. And I single-handedly put in over 300 plants. That's not my job. That's not my responsibility. But I'm part of the organization, and I want it to look good. So sometimes you volunteer, and people notice. And that takes you to the next level. You understand what I'm saying? You don't put limits on yourself. Every opportunity you get to learn and to grow, as I tell you, I just do practical nursing, and I'm looking for other courses. Every opportunity you get to learn and to grow, that's what you should do. The last thing now, you see that mirror that you have in your house? Clean it off. Clean off that mirror. Stand in front of that mirror and look at that person in that mirror. Do you like that person? Because if you don't like that person, why you think other people must like you? Why you go force and must and bound other people to like you when you don't like that person in that mirror? You have to fall in love with that person. No, it's not that that person in the mirror is perfect. There are many things about me that are imperfect. Right now I decide, no, Joan, you put on back some of the weight, you have to take off back some of the weight. So I know that there are things about me that need to be changed. But until that time you think I'm going to feel bad, you see this girl, she nice. She nice bad. It does not mean that you must be arrogant. Young people, be careful. It don't mean you must arrogant and fly up in an adult face and ting. There's a Jamaican proverb that say, donkey cubby run past donkey, but turn up a crossroads. Anybody ever hear that yet? Somebody say yes. If you say, who say yes? All right. That may work with true. Yeah, 1 minute. Donkey cubby run past donkey, go turn up a crossroads. Donkey cubby is the baby donkey or is the big donkey? It's the baby donkey. So the donkey cubby is the young people. So sometimes they come into your organization. Oh, them know everything and they won't step past the people who are there. Oh, them step past. So this is donkey cubby. Run past the big donkey. But when it comes to a point where there has to be a major decision or there's a crisis, then turn up. Because they don't have the benefit of experience to make the decisions. So I have 1 minute, I've less than a minute. I'm going to close off now with the poem, That Bumpy Head Gal. And this was a seminal moment in my life. And it changed the lives of so many people. People got the poster when I did the Bumpy Head Gal poster, put it up in their offices as a kind of statement to their bosses who were harassing them about their hair and that kind of thing. So some people vexed, some people angry. So the people them call me Dirty Bumpy Head Gal and Dirty Rasta Gal. But my position is, tell me something not good enough for your TV screen. How me offend your eyesight? Tell me something is a black, ugly, bumpy head gal. I'ma tell you, I'm feeling right. Tell me, says me's a buto, I mean I have no class. Trace me and galang rude. Tell me, say a educated woman should have know a little better. I'ma tell you, I'm feeling good. You say me hairstyle disgusting and chaka chaka and tan bad. I feel like sitting out a street. And so me should have shame left my house stand so. I'm a smile, I'm a feeling sweet. You see, the truth is, me not afraid of my own self. Me not ashamed of me. When me looking at the mirror, me like the smile when me see her look on me. Me like her thick nappy hair and her broad face. Me like her in and outer clothes. And best of all, me love how she turn up for and defend and oppose she oppose. But serious, when you go fall in love with you and let go of all of your fear, when you go take the time tell God thanks for your life instead of fret about here. Because if it kinky or straight, if we black or white, transparent or opaque, God make all of it for a special reason and God don't make mistake. But if all you can do is criticize the Father work, then your life are going to be salt. Because God love all of we and him look out for we even when we have no fault. So, go on. Call me black and bumpy head if you want, but make sure so you say it loud. Because the Creator love me and me feel good for me bumpy head, black and proud. And so, from the bumpy head, this is where I am now. And there's nobody who's going to make me feel bad about my hair. I absolutely love it. Yeah?
All right, give it up for that bumpy head gal. Not even using her name today. I'm so happy to be here because in 1996, when she went on TV and she was in her Bantu knots, Nubian twists, Chinese bump, I was actually 12, 13 years old, and I remember it all. I remember how people were cussing. I remember it was a big thing in Jamaica. And I was saying to myself at that time, I was just like, I don't understand why everybody was going on like that about a year. Because I thought it did look good. I mean, you see me now, half of my head side now there. And my mother still can't figure out why half of the hair today and why half of the hair don't today. So it's also a generational thing. And it's because of women like her why we can look the way that we look in school, when we go to work, when we go on TV, hosting things like we're doing now. And you make a very good point about getting your foot in, because one of the reasons why half of my head stays because when I'm going into certain places for a contract, I put all of the ear up on one side. I'm going to talk nice to them and them give me them good PR contract. And the next day when me come, me don't have the contract, it's signed, you're going to pay me, and half of me here gone, and it don't make me any duncer than how I was yesterday. So thank you for all the good work that you've done so that as women and as black people in general in Jamaica and across the world, we can be who we are and still love ourselves. All right, we're gonna get the opportunity to talk to them some more and ask some questions, but I have some giveaways as well. The Good Bod staff have things. And so the first person, I know said Pitney in high school and I always want credit. I don't know who not talks at night time. Who not talks at evening time when I use credit. So every auntie, every uncle, every parent and I always have a credit. So I have credits. Okay? So the first, you see how you clap? So the first person who can tell me two of the persons that have worn designs from Tribe 9. All right, your hand to come up first. Diani and Coffee. Where's the credit? Give her some credit, please. What's your name? Chrisan? Chrisan. Give Chrisan some credit for me now. And then I have more. So the first person that can raise their hand or stand up and tell me, are we ready? Why you have your hand up? I don't say anything. I want to know what you have to say. Praise God all the time. The first person that can raise their hand or stand up and tell me one of the professions that I'm not gonna put her title in front of it. Tracy Rogers has. Okay, over here. Yes. She's a therapist. Give her some credit. Should it have to say psychotherapist, or we can give her the credit, right? Give her some credit, please. Can I save my last one? Save my last one, right? All right, great. So I'm gonna invite our 3 speakers up. We have 10 minutes, maybe 12, so that we can delve a little bit more into the discussion about confidence, about perception, about how we see ourselves, about reimagining how we see ourselves. Join me, please, my speakers. And anybody that has questions, I have a couple to start with. Oh, you need your microphone? Are you okay in getting it? Okay, great. All right. I know Joan said that she need to lose some weight, but me not intend to lose none. So I really just hope so that share equal opportunity and I pray the way with me today. All right, so thank you so much for dropping some gems and insight in us, and for giving us a little enlightenment into your careers and how you got here and what it means to you, and just sharing with us. And I have a couple of questions. And I'm going to start off with Troy because you're on the farthest end. I'm going to ask you how, for some people, they don't know how they get to their personal style or how that can empower them. And sometimes you like some things that nobody else really likes. And you feel like if you put it on, you're going to favor idiot. So how do you get over the feeling of mega favor idiot and nobody not gonna like what me have on to embracing your personal style and having other people ending up liking it too?
I think it's something that you practice over time. I definitely feel like personal style is something that evolves over time. The first thing is we need to worry less about what people think. I think that is literally what is gonna give us the freedom that we need in our minds. I think we wake up every day and we're dictated to, and we're told this is what you should be, this is what you should look like, all that kind of stuff. I feel like the more we can get to that place where we can just kind of curve that a little bit, I think the more we'll get to exactly what that freedom feels like, right? And getting back to the personal style, yes, I definitely feel like it's something that, you know when they say practice makes perfect? I feel like it's something that you evolve over time. So keep trying those things that your friend's like, that not look good. Just keep trying it over time. You will find your personal style. And as I said before, the confidence that you have to wear anything you want to wear, irrespective of what people think, is what's going to actually evolve that style.
A follow-up. I saw a design the other day on the runway. I believe it was New York Fashion Week, and it was spoons. The whole suit was spoon, and it just a clang as the girl a walk, and people a clap, and it looks so good. And I'm like, but a spoon though. So do you think that it is also because a certain name puts it out that it becomes style? And what if I never get there, you know?
One of the most important things to actually take on your journey to find your personal style is understanding what the difference is between fashion and style, right? So fashion is what it's trendy, it's what's happening right now. It's like we're wearing blues and greens this season. If you don't want to wear blue or green, or if it doesn't look good on you, or if you don't feel it, don't do it. You know what I mean? Just wear whatever it is that feels comfortable for you. Like, I think a lot of the fashion shows nowadays are getting very ridiculous. Yeah. Like, it's getting to a point where it's like, this don't make no sense. Mm-hmm. Right? It don't make no sense. This shock value thing is kind of, it's a little bit weird as well. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing wearing a spoon? You know? But I also struggle between what are you doing wearing a spoon, and if that's your vibe, that's your vibe. You know what I mean? So it speaks on whatever works for you is what you should walk towards.
Yeah. Thank you so much. All right, and we get to Dr. Tracy, and we can see your personal style in your all-stars with your African print, your white, and your nice locks. We like it. Don't we like it? Yeah, she looks really hip. Like, I want her to teach me if my dad got you. It's people like Tracy where my father never want me got you, you know? No, yeah, I'm telling me, say, now make me go become a turn Rasta, and I come home a Rasta. Anywho, so tell us, confidence also starts in the mind. We have to, you can't fake it for so far. You know what I mean? There are lots of people we see out there that they act confident, and then you end up seeing them probably I mean, and this is the extreme, committing suicide, and nobody knew that they had these things happening to them to the point that they don't love themselves enough to even live another day. You know what I mean? So can you take us through how we can keep mentally strong and confident? What are some things that we can do daily?
Thank you so much. I think we need to remember we are complex beings, and we're never one thing. So remember that thing I said about your thoughts are not facts? So sometimes we may be feeling distress, lonely, sad, it's unbelievable, it feels like I can't get above this feeling. What we need to practice is being present. So sometimes I work with people who are having thoughts of hurting themselves and not being here. And they expect me to say, oh no, don't commit suicide, don't do that. But the fact of the matter is that sometimes there's a voice in you, there's a part of you that doesn't want to be here. But that part of you is not all of you. And I think some of the work is being able to sit with yourself and understand that I am a multitude of amazing things. And if I can sit and breathe through this moment and stay, I could survive to tomorrow. You know, it's very, very easy for us to tell people, don't do that or don't feel that. So when we're talking about feelings, for instance, especially in the Caribbean, you know, don't be vexed. Like vexation inside you. Nobody says, oh, look, anger, and duck it. You can't. So what we need to do is think about the fact that I have this feeling. It is an energy system. It is in my body, but it is not all of who I am. And what do I need to do to connect? Because we're wired for connection. Human beings supposed to be doing what we're doing now. Our brains are designed in such a way, like, when this gentleman started to speak about personal style, I was like, yeah. You know, the things he was saying that I connected with. When I know Bumpy Head Girl, and I'm not Jamaican. I've lived here for about 4 years. Yeah, but I know that. So we are designed, when people say things and it resonates with us, we have these neurons in front of head called mirror neurons, part of the brain. And we connect with people. And if you get involved in the arts, we artists are special people. Because we have a way, yeah, man. Know yourself. We have a way that we really nurture connection. So you don't have to do this alone. Nobody was designed to do this alone. This body does not work alone. But you have to find your people, because not all people are your people. I'll stop there.
All right, thank you so much. And Joan, oh my God, I can't believe I just called you Joan. My mother, I got a ring off my mouth. Auntie Joan, you spoke about how you use the opportunity of persons trying to quote unquote disgrace you and make you feel bad to launch into a whole different part of your career where you're touring for years until is you tired for tour and decide so you're coming back home. But how do we know that we're on the cusp of something great? Because even as confident as you were about who you are, the bumpy head girl thing could have backfire. Like, how do you know how to ride this wave and make it yours and still use it to empower others?
The thing is, you will ride 30 waves and only 2 of them will take you where you're going. What do you do? Stop riding waves? No, you keep trying. When young people say to me, I can't get a job, you can't get a job for me. I said, no, apply for 50, you might get 2. Apply for 50. When I was applying for scholarships, I was applying for 20, 30 scholarships at the same time. Then you'd get a call from 3, and then 1 would come through. Right? So the point is, don't stop. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. You can't stop. The other thing that is important is that I recognize, just going back to the first part of your thing is, people hitting on me in this negative kind of way. I accept that people are entitled to their opinions. But I don't necessarily have to believe your opinion. You don't have to believe mine neither. But you are entitled to that opinion. So even if you don't like my hairstyle, it's okay. We don't have to be aggressive. We don't have to be angry with each other. It's okay. But just keep on trying. Young ladies and gentlemen here, yes, couple gentlemen, listen. If you try something and it no work, try something else. Don't give up. Just keep on going. Keep on going.
And you said that you're going to be 60 now in a month or so. And you don't look like 60, by the way. And 1996.
Good life.
Don't it? And good food. And good other things.
And I'll tell you this. Let me just use this. We're talking about good life and thing. I'm 59, almost 60. I have never consumed alcohol. I don't know what a beer tastes like. I don't know what a glass of wine tastes like. I don't know what a glass of sherry. Don't know what I've never consumed alcohol.
Auntie.
And that's a personal choice.
Auntie,
Right?
alcohol nice, you know? I'm joking.
That's such a personal choice. You know, I'm not going to say to you don't. I'm just going to say that's my personal choice.
And you know what? It's a pretty good point because I like alcohol a lot. And it's my personal choice. But there are other things I don't like a lot that other people like mango. I despise mango. I think it tastes bad, it smells bad, it make me want to vomit it here. But
Smells bad.
my personal choice.
That's all right. More for all of us.
Right, but I also want to ask you, almost 30 years ago that this thing happened to you in the national space because you were on national TV, and you see the changes that have been made both in the media landscape and now. How do you see us as a people where media influences how we are, what we do, and where do you want us to go, in your opinion, in the next 30 years?
Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to encourage my media practitioners to understand how much power they have. They have the power in their hands to shape opinions, to shape the way people think, the way people behave. And I don't think some of them realize how powerful they are. So the first thing is for our media people to take on the role, accept that they are training young minds, they're training other people. If a particular popular media person goes on there and says tomorrow, you know, everybody wear purple here to school. Then suddenly you all turn up at the school gate with purple here and fighting off principal because, oh, it's my right and I'm enlightened. If the school rules say no purple here, it is no purple here. Let's get that right. In as much as we're into, you know, self-affirmation, if the school, you sign the school rule that say no purple here, don't turn up at the school with purple here and say, oh, but it's my right. Don't do that. Don't do that. When you reach our level, you can wear the purple here. Yeah? But if you sign a rule, just play by the rules. Remember, you have to kind of get in there before you can make change. But yes, in terms of the media landscape, what I want is for our media practitioners to understand the power that they have. We can change this country, the media practitioners. But I know they have 3 minutes, but I want to use the opportunity. Somebody in here I must acknowledge because he was wearing his bumpy head hairstyle before me. He don't like the load up, but Richard, please come here. Come, quick, we don't have time. We don't have time, come. Him no like the load up. This is my friend Richard Johnson, one of the biggest PR specialists in this country. And he has been wearing this hairstyle long before I went bumpy head, long before it was fashionable. And people were very angry when he was wearing his hair like this in corporate Jamaica and working in the Caribbean. See that? This is the original bumpy head man. Love you.
The original bumpy head man. Okay, I need to ask if any one of you have any questions for our panelists. I don't want to hog it, take it all for myself because I love them. Yes. Could you just say your name and ask your question, please? Okay.
All right. How do you fight the loud talk in your head about your body, like in your mind? And for example, like you're on the street and someone might say, "Oh, you get so fat. I want go on." And then you know inside your head every day is like, "Jano star, I'm fat." You know, like, I'm gonna get so mager. Like, how do you fight that voice in the head that says all that?
Thank you. That's a really, really powerful question. So the fact of the matter is that we get those messages, and we still get those messages about our hair, about our skin. I was pretty for a dark girl for the first 18 years of my life. Yeah, and people will say those things. So there's no easy answer to that question. I think all the speakers spoke today about having people and having a strong foundation and knowing that you're nice. Like, we have to have that. And some of us are born with people to love us like that, and some of us have to go out and find our community. Because you can't, like I remember being 14, wearing a gray tights and a gray t-shirt, walking on the Quasi in Sour. And I was 14, heavy-chested, and a man said to me, look at your big breasts, they're like cow breasts. And I remember at 14, because he looked at me and thought I was a grown woman, and I could take that. And I remember what I did to my inside. Remember I talked about time travel? I'm seeing it now, and my pores are opening up. Because people, people talk about words can't hurt you. Words hurt. Words hurt, and they live in your body, and you also want to be responsible for your words and how you can be hurting other people. So they have no magic cure, I think really knowing who you are is important, and when you're young and you're still growing into who you are, it's even harder. But finding community and finding safe people who have earned the right. Like there's a difference between oversharing and trying to hotwire a friendship and that person showing up for you and saying in the ways that they show up that they can trust you, that you can trust them. Nobody's entitled to your love, your friendship.
And Troy, you want to answer as well?
I just want to kind of say something on that as well. I think there's a lot of young people in here, and I always feel like it starts with the young people, right? I feel like sometimes you do walk down the street and people have this entitlement to kind of let you know, like Jamaicans have no kind of nothing more them when it comes to telling you that you look fat and you look skinny and all that kind of stuff. I feel like it starts with you guys. So knowing your tribe, as you said, and knowing and understanding that you don't just go up to someone and be like, oh, you look fatty or you look skinny, because you don't know what people are going through. And also our bodies change over time. Like our bodies change. You go through your fat phase and your skinny phase and your in-between phase and all that kind of stuff. But understanding that you don't just place that onto someone, because as you said, words do kind of affect you and it lives with you. It lives with you in your mind. So yeah.
And as a plus size person, based on the question that you asked, I didn't even know that I was plus size until I went to high school, when somebody told me. A girl told me at school that I'm fat. And I was just like, what is she talking about? Because everybody in my house kind of did look like me, and we never did really care, because that's how everybody looked. And then I started to look at myself different at the time, but by that time, I already loved myself because, well, it was 12 years of you thinking that you're normal. So as Tracy said, that you need your community. And even though we have gone through a lot of words that are unkind from people, the onus is on us not to do the same thing. You know what I mean? When I just launched Broadtail Designs, I remember the first comments under the first story that was printed about the company said that the company would never make money because fat people have to wear a swimsuit. And I was wondering what fat people must wear to the beach? Pajamas? You know what I mean? So some things are not rational in the minds of people who are used to a new idea. And of course, in Jamaica, we love to talk about where you bigger go. My grandmother used to say that to me all the time. Where you bigger go? And I would just keep adding a parish. Me I say, I want to reach St. James. The next time she asked me, say, may I try off a cent? And mama. And she's just like, what is this child saying? You know what I mean? So you also have to build in yourself once you know yourself, so that when some of these questions come, as much as you're not disrespectful, I always just bring comedy to it. You know what I mean? So that's one of my ways. All right, so we're wrapping up. Do we have another question? We have 2, and I want to take them. 3. Can I start here, then move over here? Oh, you already have? Okay. You see how you're going? You're hype with your mic, and your mic not work. I'm joking. Go ahead.
Hey, my mic at work. Hi, my name is Sundari. I'm a school of dance student. My question is for Miss Joan, Auntie Joan. I know you mentioned being the youngest in the space the first time you reported the news. Was that ever intimidating for you, like even on the plane going to South Korea in the new space with all the older people? Was that ever something that like pushed you off of your
Not at all. And all the speakers here have said it. You have to have your tribe. Because my tribe was strong, I had parents who grounded me and told me every day, the world is mine. I can conquer anything. I can do everything. I am wonderful. I'm great. Because I grew up with that, then nothing scared me. Because I had that backative, nothing scared me.
All right, I like that. All right, so let me go over here and then I'll come over there, okay? So I'll loan you my mic.
Hello, good morning. I was wondering if it's okay to ask each individual speaker a question.
Then you alone must have 3 questions.
Do it quick. Do it quick.
Okay, Mrs. Jones, you said to be confident and to love yourself, but how do you make it so that you love yourself?
You have to accept that everybody is different. I'm not going to look like her. I would like to have her legs that I can wear like a short skirt. And I would like to have her shoulders that I mean, my shoulders are probably smaller than hers, but I don't have the confidence to wear sleeveless, and she wears sleeveless. So not everything about me is perfect. Not everything about me is confident. But I genuinely like this person. So I accept that there are things about me that I need to fix or things I need to work on. I'm not ready to go to the beach in a swimsuit unless I have on a cover-up, right? So I am not fully there yet, so there are things I need to work on. But generally, I like this person. So I say, clean off the mirror. Look at the mirror. You know, all of you, if I say to you, what are 5 good things about you? You must be able to spit that out like so. What are the good things about you? No, you should know what those wonderful things are. And sometimes it is, I am kind, I'm helpful, I'm a good listener, you understand? But know the good things about you.
And confidence is a journey. You don't always feel confident about everything on any given day, you know? So I'm gonna go over here, and if I have time, I come back, all right? So let me loan you my microphone. Tell us your name and your question.
Good day. My name is Rihanna James, and this question is for Dr. Tracy. Why is that one has to be ostracized and ridiculed in society because of suffering of mental illness that can be eased in most cases, which robs them of their social development when socialization plays such an important role in one.
Listen, ask questions. I like it. So really quickly, all of us have mental health. Everybody here has mental health? Everybody here has mental health? Yes. Yes. The short answer to your question is stigma and shame. And I want to talk about shame, and I want to connect it to the question that the other young lady asked really quickly. We live with so much shame. Shame is the feeling that I am not good enough, that something is wrong with me, that I am not lovable. And we like to shame people. And only in this part of the world we think shame is something you should have. Yeah, have no shame. Like we should aspire towards having shame. You have nothing about you. No, I don't have shame. I don't want shame. I am working and moving and living. I did not wake up like this. This took a while. This is 46 years of stunning. A lot of that was crying, not feeling good, feeling black and ugly, because I don't know why we like to put those 2 words together, like one equated to the other. All of those things. So here's the thing about shame. Shame cannot survive being seen. Once you put it out there, it frizzles. What grows shame is secrecy and silence. So the short answer to your question is that we need to talk about the fact that mental illness is an illness like cancer, like diabetes. Some of these illnesses are chronic, meaning you will have it and deal with it for the rest of your life. Some of them, you might have it for a certain period of time, but you know what? It is not who I am. I am not diabetic. Yes? Oh, I think I got. I am not diabetes if I'm diabetic. If I have a mental illness, yes, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, I have an illness, but that is not who I am. And that's the answer to loving yourself, you know. This is just the shell I wear that I style well. Yes? And I style well because I determine my style. And that's what confidence is too. Confidence is for me going into a university meeting wearing Converse and sneakers because I like it. Every day I wear African print because the first 20 years of my life, all the messages was that anything from Africa ain't good. So the rest of my life has been a rebellion against that. Every day I do that. I grew locks the day I moved out of my mother's house. She used to say, when you're living by you could do whatever you want. I left home in August. I went to grad school in September. December came back, I had little things. I said, well, I'm living by me now. Yes, politely, because I still afraid my mother. I respect my mother. She worked hard to get me here. So all that to say is inside work. And we have to fight for the right to define ourselves and to live in rebellion.
You know what's also a rebellion? Loving yourself. That's an everyday rebellion. Because people want you to not love yourself. And about make me telling us, Miss Yona that try shame my friend with her long question. Make she ask her a long question. You see, she get long answer. Where all I want to yes about. Yes. To her long answer. Don't shame her for a long question. All right, somebody over there has the microphone.
Yes. Before I ask my question, though, just listening to what you're saying about being black and all that, why black and ugly have to go together. You know, a lot of us young girls, especially, the men too, but boys too, but mainly us young girls, go through our own black men not loving us and receiving us as beautiful, you know. It's not even only about personality, but our own black men especially don't see us as beautiful. You know, they aspire to the brown skin girls, and they do treat us differently, by the way, also. So it is wrapped up in that as well. So that could be addressed. That's something that needs to be addressed as well, I believe, especially as a black woman with kinky hair, as they call it. But what I really wanted to ask was, you know, especially if you're a bit shy and you didn't necessarily grow up with that, that you speak of, Miss Hutchinson, you know, somebody who made you feel like you could take on the world, right? How do you overcome that to start? Because it's all about starting. So especially if you want to be in a public space or on a public platform, how do you overcome that to actually get to the point of starting and just putting yourself out there?
So that question is to Auntie Joan?
I'd like to take it.
Okay.
I'd like to take it. And I take it because I'm a public speaking coach. And I train people to get up in public and be confident and speak. And very often people are nervous. But what did I tell you about when I started reading the news before I got to 18? I was taking the Gleaner and I was reading to myself and recording myself. Get a recording device, you have a phone, record yourself. You're gonna have a job interview. Record yourself asking questions, you know the questions they're gonna ask you. Record yourself giving the answers. If you have to make a presentation at your job or make a presentation in class, stand up in front of your mirror and watch which side of your body is the cute side. How you're going to turn your face, and how you're going to gesticulate, how you're going to speak. Wear something, if you're going to make a presentation in public, wear something that looks good on you. Don't be up there and feel Lord, and you're not comfortable. Wear something that makes you feel good. So when you step out, people, because there's a thing known as autosuggestivity. Confidence is autosuggestive. It feeds on itself. So when you give a confident kind of energy to your audience, they give it back to you. Yeah, and make you feel good. But if you come up here and apologize for yourself, I'm not sure, then they're not going to be confident about you, all right? So some of it you have to do the work on your own, in your own small space. Listen to other people's opinions and repeat some of those opinions when you have conversations. But you have to do some of the work yourself to start it.
Thank you so much. All right, we had a question right here. Hold on. I'm already there.
Hi, my name is Christian Bryan, and I have a question for Mr. Orion. Do you get judged as a male designer, and if so, how do you overcome it?
That's a really, really good question. So alongside my designer hat, I also wear a stylist hat as well. So stylist is basically the people that the commercials that you see, like the Camparis and the Scotiabanks and all that kind of stuff, there's someone that dresses those people, right? All the people that you see. So I also work with a lot of artists, and there's a lot of artists here that are very ignorant. Very, very ignorant. I've heard it all, basically. I don't go into these environments kind of like looking friend. I go there to work. So I always kind of step into this room with my confident self. I'm here to do a job and I'm here to dress you. But there's a lot of people that are like, no, I don't want a man dress me, and I don't want this, and I don't want this, and the Batman this, and the Batman that, and all that kind of stuff. It happens every day. It's a real thing, and I know that I moved from a place where all of this stuff wasn't talked about as much, but in Jamaica we have some very ignorant people. So I don't really take it as a personal thing. I take it as that's something that is your problem, and that's something that you need to work on. And obviously these words do affect you, and you do walk away from these situations like, damn, like how can I, what way am I being seen? But at the end of the day, if you're confident about what it is that you're presenting and what it is that you're doing, a lot of that stuff just fades into the background. So that's how I approach it.
Good day. I have a question for Mr. Orion. My name is Ayana Bloomfield. Yeah. For Mr. Orion, I forgot. No, wait, I didn't. Okay. For Mr. Orion, how long did it take for you to find your own style, or how you like the way you looked? And one for Mrs. Hutchinson, I think. How did you handle the backlash during that time when you wore your knots and stuff?
So the personal style, as I said before, is something that is always evolving. So it doesn't just stop and you're like, this is me now. This is how I present to the world. You know, the one thing here that has really helped me evolve my personal style, because as I said, it's a journey. I started Tribe 9 Studios, and Tribe 9 Studios is basically a unisex brand. So we look at clothes that kind of just works with your body and about how you want to present yourself to the world. So we don't really look at clothes that, oh, this looks really good on a girl and this looks really good on a guy, and you know, all that kind of stuff, right? And when I first started to say to people like, oh, this is a unisex brand, they were like, unisex? I want that. You know what I mean? And because we're so used to, as a boy, you wear blue, as a girl, you wear pink, and that's it, right? Even yesterday, someone said to me, like, why are you drinking this pink drink? And I'm like, huh? Like, how did we get here, right? But it really does, like, starting Tribe 9 has taught me that if you do put something out there that's new and it's fresh and it's evolving, you know what I mean? Like, Jamaica doesn't really take well to things that are new, but we love it, right? Secretly, we love it, and we look to other people for it. So we love looking to the States and the UK and go, oh, like, they're doing unisex things over there? But me can't do that, because me live in Jamaica. You know what I mean? Like, but when you start presenting these things, a lot of people started taking it on and go, oh, like, this is a conversation starter. This is really like, the girls can wear the same jeans as a man, and the guys can wear the same top as the girl. Like, how does that work? But clothes is just clothes. It's just fabrics that we put on. It's just about designing and what feels comfortable for you. So I don't really go into this kind of, I don't step into every room always confident, as we all said, every day. Like, there's sometimes that I'm like, I'm not really feel myself today, you know. But you still have to show up, and you still have to present yourself. So just make sure that you feel as comfortable. Put on the little one earring, because that's your thing. You know, or put on the sneakers that you like, because that's your thing. But don't let anyone dictate, because when you go outside, there's so much noise. There's so much things that go, this is how you're supposed to be, and this is how you're supposed to look, and you know what I mean? So it's a ever-growing, like, and ever-evolving process. Your personal style is going to keep developing until you die.
Yeah, it's a journey. And I'm going to use my host audacity and say that the answer to your next question, you're going to have to come to her after. Okay? Yes, that's the audacity we may take right now. Okay, and so we're moving on in our program. Thank you so much, panelists. You did so very well in answering the questions and just giving a little bit more light to the conversation of our bodies and confidence. And I just want to thank you so much. And we have a performance now. Feel free, you can go back to your seats. We have a performance now. Was that a good conversation? We feel refreshed, don't it? Make sure that when you go back to school or to your places, you also share this as well. So we have a presentation now because we can't come at Edna Manley and I have all of the arts on showcase. And so I want to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, I love a Rasta man. I love a Rasta, all of them. That's why my father never wants to send me guy you him never know would I come back with an education. Think would I come back with something else. So let's welcome our performer. Oh my God, he called me an empress. Phoenix!
Shoo! Greetings, everyone. Check. Add little lower frequency to this, man. Greetings. All right. Boy, I don't know still, but I'm glad for there today. Like, I'm very grateful. Seeing Auntie Bumpy Head. Wow, God. Yeah, but I'm a real auntie, like, you know, mother like that from long time. You know, Auntie Joan for decades. See? But Dr. Rogers, love what you said. Brother Try, I love it. Because guess what now? But them say if you come singing about, I have to talk a little bit because everything kind of tie into what me about to sing about. See? So, confidence. Very important in everything. Remember what Marcus Garvey said about confidence? You remember what Marcus Garvey said about confidence? No, man, you are turning on there, yeah. What Marcus said, you don't know, don't it? All right, we have to learn about it today then, because see there? It's not teaching at school, clearly. All right, so, Marcus Garvey said, we're twice defeated in the race of life without. All right, see? So you have to be confident. See? So this song that I'm about to do is entitled Confidence. Well, it's so weird because at the time that I was writing this song, I couldn't write music for a year and 6 months. Like I went through something and all of the creative juices just dry up. So now, Brother Troy and Auntie and Dr. No as creatives, we pull things out of nowhere. True? Yep. Yeah. We just come and somebody say they want a suit. Somebody say they want a poem. The doctor want they come to her because they want her to diagnose whatever situation they have. And we have to go in at this space out the round, so around one part, we around, so and find it and bring it back. Right? That is what creatives do. See? Now I want to just say to you now, no matter where you are in a life, people will always tell you say you can't make it. Especially as an artist, believe me, I've been there, done that, made the whole heap of story them. See? Now one him can't sing, man. Now one him not gonna make it, man. They will tell you that 1,000,000 times. But you only need to be confident one time. Once you're confident, one time it will work. See? Run my track, please. Oh, yes. Give me a little more high frequency there. Oh, yes. I say yes, Jah. Bounce the track little lower, I want him here, what I say. Bounce the track lower. Lower the track. Yes, Jah. Give thanks for all the blessings that you show. Spiritually every day. Luna, watch it now. Some may criticize, some may scrutinize, quick to cast you aside. plastic smiles, they wanna see your demise. I tell you, say, in the race of life, I said you got to be wise. I said, in the race of life, yeah, you are defeated twice. If you not have confidence in yourself, I say, in this time as you go thy way, I say, and we no listen, none of them they say, no follow bag a chat mouth cut crossway, I say, confidence in yourself, I say, in this time as you go thy way, I say, and we no listen, none of them they say, no follow bag a chat. I go. Whatever you perceive, I said, you surely shall receive. Just put your shoulder to the wheel and add some elbow grease. Anything you can achieve once you have the self-belief. And never you deceive yourself. Procrastination is a thief, because in this race of life, them quick off to sell you out for peas and rice, and red off to tear you down with heinous lies. Then run down your shine when them see your sun arise. No follow them, confidence in yourself, I say. In this time as you go thy way, you know. And we no listen, none of them they say. No follow bag a chat mouth cut crossway. Oh, way, no, no, no. In this time as you go thy way, I say. And we no listen, none of them they say. No follow bag a chat, because why? You're never gonna see me with me and them on me jaw. Never gonna see me beg your dollar cause me raw. Never gonna succumb to the challenges. Can't bless me bust with talent. If can't catch me on the wrong side of the law. Never gonna listen to the mission. Always get we own decision. Never compromise the mission. Never know. So when you see we selling outdoors, we playing a fly shore to shore. Who the hell is you for tell me say me can't? Because me full of in myself, I say. In this time as me go thy way, I know. And we no listen, none of them they say. No follow bag a chat mouth cut. Cause what? No man, everybody gonna sing confidence. That's the one word you have to sing today. See the one word. We will sing the rest. And we no listen, none of them they say. No follow bag a chat. I go. And what we say again? In yourself, I say. In this time as we go away, you know. And we no listen, none of them they say. No matter what them say to you, they can't write. I go again. In yourself, I say. In this time as we go away, I say. No, we no listen, none of them I say. No follow mouth talk, them can't chat to we. Oh, well, now, yes.
All right.
Selassie, give thanks. Shana K. Abdul, big up yourself. Up full. Big up to all the panelists, all the speakers. Give you don't know anything, go already. You don't know anything.
He really wanted that hug. Give it up for Phoenix.
I'm the auntie with
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our program, and we're going to ask a vote of thanks and special presentation to be done by Jeanette Alexander.
Wow, because we're full of confidence in me. Hey. Good afternoon, everyone. Man, it indeed was a blessing to be here in this seminar. It was eye-opening, motivational, inspirational. I'm so happy that I did not miss this. And everyone who's here, take whatever that impacts your heart and go with it. Remember it, apply it. Now, I'm going to read because, they gave me some, you do a little reading. All right. So on behalf of the event producer and the Good, Bad, and Ugly seminar management team, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks to you, our host. She's hiding behind there, but you see her too. Thank you. And to our speakers for sharing your expertise and insight. Your contributions have been truly valuable in helping us understand the importance of self-love, acceptance, embracing our unique selves, and even in the song, having confidence. Your presentations were inspiring, engaging, and thought-provoking. And we appreciate the effort you put into making them informative and entertaining. Because you know you had everybody captivated. Your willingness to share personal stories and experiences added a relatable and authentic touch to the seminar and helped us connect with the message on a deeper level. So now from our team to you, so I'm going to let the team come up. We want to give you a special thanks and token. All right, we invite the speakers up. And you as well. Yes, with your host audacity. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. And to our valued audience, we thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to share the day and this seminar with us. We hope it was a delightful experience. I know it was, so I don't even have to hope. I know it was a delightful experience. To the members of the auxiliary staff who worked to ensure cleanliness and readiness of the space, we thank you. Special thanks to Michael, who has always gone above and beyond for the School of Arts Management and Humanities and our event preparations. To our lecturers and advisors who toiled with us, we are truly grateful. I'm speaking on behalf of Sam here. So lecturers, they're very grateful. To our performers, Aston Ellis and Phoenix, music is food for the soul and you fed us, so we thank you. Finally, and most importantly, thank you to the most hard-working team from the School of Arts Management and Humanities. This seminar is a success because of your effort and dedication, so we'd like to thank you. Blessings to all.
Thank you so much. So thank you all for coming out once again and for having me. Shana K, all the best on your final year project, and thank you for having me included in your project. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dania Beckford. Have a fabulous day. Oh, my technical team, you know want to big up? Big up to you. Technical team, thank you.